Hey, what's up? We want to say shout out to our sponsors, Watchman Cigar, Red Hill Brewing, Crave Bath and Body, and our newest sponsor, Level Up Logo. Without you guys, this episode would not be possible. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy podcast, where it's our take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, while you, the listener, are invited to come up on the front porch, grab a beverage, and set a spell. We've got a great show lined up for you as always. Our special guest this week is Nancy Picard. She is a certified integrative coach through the Ford Institute for Transformational Training and the Levine Life Coach Academy. She's the author of the internationally bestseller, Bigger, Better, Braver, Conquer Your Fears, Embrace Your Courage, and Transform Your Life. As we continue our series this month of how to make 2022 a better month or a better year. I mean, if we just made 2022 a better month, I guess we'd be doing all right. Let me go ahead and introduce you to our starting lineup. Magic Man is being whisked away somewhere by some strong winds and some rain, so he's not joining us tonight. But alas, we will hold down the fort here with the wonderful, beautiful Aaron Waller. What up, Aaron?
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Of course, we've got our producer, Brian.
The wonderful, beautiful producer, Brian. So I thought you were going to introduce me that way.
Is he an intro like
I'm slightly offended. I just want to say that.
I really wanted to, but I was afraid HR might have something to say about that. So
we don't have HR.
You know. And of course, I'll be your illustrious host, Biggin. And how about you? Still struggling through this throat thing, so we'll just go through it.
It's only been like 18 months, right?
Well, it should ease off somewhere tail end of March is where I'm really kind of looking for that voice to come back. So not much longer. So that's good. Producer Brian, can you tell our folks where they can find us on the webs?
We're on the webs everywhere. Well, we're all over the web, right? You can find us on our website at sfpradio.com. I've even got a nice little picture.
Look at that.
Right.
Fancy schmancy. Hey, go ahead.
So we have a website. There's a little, lots of new features on this thing, right? So you can see the show. You can listen directly from the website if you want to. There's a little icon at the bottom to leave voicemails, which we're going to get to in just a second. But we're all over the socials. So you can get us facebook.com/Southern Fried Philosophy, Twitter /SFP Radio, Instagram, SFP Radio.
Yep.
TikTok, there's a ton of content on TikTok. Oh, wait.
None of it is ours, though. Yet. I really want to break into the TikTok.
Yeah. Do you know where else you can find us?
I know where you can't find us, and those are the adult websites. So don't go there trying to find us.
It's only a matter of time.
That's not a place to go.
But where you can find us, and this is new.
OnlyFans, we're not there.
We'll get there.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We need more followers.
I think we should start an OnlyFans account and just have pictures of biscuits and then butter just melting on top of it. And then, I mean,
food ASMR.
I'd pay to watch that, to be honest with you.
Someone might be into it. You never know.
You never know. I would pay for it. I'm not lying.
Yeah, but you can actually find us at youtube.com/
How about
Southern Fried Philosophy.
Ooh,
if you can believe it.
We did it.
We did it.
Yay. You did it. Our wonderful fans. It took you 6 years to get us 100 plus viewers, but we finally made it. youtube.com/Southern Fried Philosophy. Look, we just dropped a video. If you're unaware, producer Brian and I teamed up with the Bearded Home Cook. Check out his information at thebeardedhomecook.com, or he also has a YouTube channel. And we've got the links on our video to his stuff. But we teamed up with him. He makes amazing recipes, videos on how to make stuff. And so I thought, well, hey, what if we partner with him? We can show you how to make Southern staples, and it'd be fun. So I roll up thinking I'm just going to be the comedy relief, and Jim is going just to do his bearded home cook thing. And he said, "Oh no, we're not doing that. You guys are making the biscuits." And so it is quite the ordeal. If you haven't gone to seen the video, check it out at youtube.com/Southern Fried Philosophy. I tell you what, I mean, the biscuits are legit. The gravy's legit. Everything was perfect. So we'll be teaming up with him to make some other ones coming up. So I'm very excited about that. So that was cool.
Yeah, it's great.
If you would like, Aaron, would you like to be part of the chefery going on there?
I mean, I was wondering. I was like, where was my invite?
You kind of weren't on the show yet. So now.
So this was pre-recorded.
This was, yes.
Like the week before.
Understandable.
It was the week before. You were on vacation because it was that week that you were, again, on vacation. But should we give a teaser of what the next video is going to be?
Oh, what we think it's going to be, or have we decided?
Oh, yeah, that would be good. Maybe you guys can guess what it's going to be. So tweet us, Facebook us, Instagram us, what have you, what you think the next video should be. Or maybe there's a video that you're like, hey, I really want to know how to make fill in the blank, and we'll talk to Jim. Maybe we can make it happen. So that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So one thing that producer Brian mentioned was the voicemail feature on our site. And so producer Brian, can you bring up again, this is a podcast. I get it. You can't see it.
Yes.
But if you go to youtube.com/Southern Fried Philosophy, you can see it on the YouTube channel.
On sfpradio.com. You're talking about the voicemail, right?
The voicemail, yeah. But
yes.
if you're not able to see what we're talking about as we speak, do that. Anyway, go to sfpradio.com. The little the little microphone at the bottom of the page. That's where you click on it. It'll bring up a screen, and then you can leave a voicemail. So that'd be handy dandy. So we're doing a thing now where within the next 2 more weeks, we're going to keep it over for 2 more weeks. If you leave a voicemail and it's funny, we're going to give you a $20 Amazon gift card for the funniest voicemail that gets left. I really want to push this voicemail feature. I think it's awesome. And again, you can talk about anything. I don't care what you talk about. Just leave a voicemail. Just vent, whatever burns your biscuits. Just talk about it. I don't care. But we're going to give a $20 Amazon gift card to the winner of that. Our fan, Shorty's Barbecue, won the $10 gift certificate for just being the first one. Y'all, I'm realizing that our audience cares very little about money. They really don't care because we try to give away money. I've begged you all just to try to win money and you don't do it. So I don't know what we're going to have to do. So if you guys have any thoughts on what we could do to motivate you besides cash money, I don't know. Maybe a free month of my OnlyFans account. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So
Lee Short suggested a barbecue OnlyFans.
Okay. All right. I'd be fine with that.
Sure.
All right. So we want to say shout out to our listeners from Nevada. Since Magic Man is not here, we will have no fun facts about Nevada, but Las Vegas, I mean, that's where Vegas is at. Have you guys been to Vegas?
No.
No, I've not been. No.
I know you have.
I have. Yeah. That was quite a surprise for my 40th birthday. My wife just said, get on a plane and we're leaving. And we ended up in Vegas. So that was quite a fun adventure and a trip. So
I think if I would go to Vegas and then like leave town and go like see the Grand Canyon or something.
Well, we
That's what I was going to say, Brian.
See the Grand Canyon. We saw the Hoover Dam. Saw the dam. So, I think one of the cool things about Vegas is the downtown, not the actual strip, but to go to the downtown part. There's a lot of history down there, and I like that kind of stuff. So we did a walking tour. Highly recommend it. That was fun. All right, so I'm going to ask you guys like I ask you every week. How you be doing? Brought to you by Crave Bath and Body. Aaron, what's been going on with you?
Nothing much. Just Like every time I sit down, I'm gonna be like, work. That's all I do. It's work all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have a day off today, and
Ooh.
I got my nails done, so that was really fun.
Fancy.
I got Contact nails.
Let's see. What are they?
Oh.
If you can't see it, because this is the podcast.
You realize they don't match, right? They're all different.
And then one nail has hearts.
Ooh, that's fancy. I have no nails. Like I just bite them off.
I don't either, and that's why I have to get these because they're constantly breaking off.
So you don't have to. They're like they put them on your nails.
Yes.
Oh,
they're acrylic.
That's fancy.
Well, they're a tip with acrylic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
See, things we never would have talked about before.
I was like, should I talk about my nails? Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, let's talk about them.
Why not?
You know what I'm extremely fascinated at some point we'll talk about is eyelashes. I'm so like
that's a whole nother world.
Mesmerized by eyelashes.
I was thinking earlier, I was like, we could do a YouTube video where I like teach you guys how to do makeup.
Yes. and then you do the makeup on us. Oh, that would be awesome.
Wow.
Okay. We would get a whole other crew.
Well.
Yeah, no doubt.
So speaking of nails, how do people function? So like, you go to the grocery store and there's a girl there checking you out and like
not like looking at you and you're like,
I can't imagine, like, how do you open a soda can when you got that on your, how do you function? I get they're pretty.
Yeah.
How do you function?
You just figure it out. There is actually a trend on TikTok for a minute, because I'm deeply into TikTok, where this girl had like the longest nails, like so long. And she was showing how she did everyday things like getting gas or opening a can of soda or, using the bathroom, all this stuff.
Oh my.
She didn't show that, but she showed
I understand the process.
And it was really fascinating. I was like, okay, I can't do anything. I still get them. I don't get them super long, but, as long as I can handle. But I can go much longer than this.
The thing that when I see that, I'm like, the first thing every time that comes to my mind is, how do you pick your nose with that thing? Like, it's got to be, you have to have this weird angle thing going on. I don't know. That's the one thing that I'm like, how do you do that? So, well, good. I like your nails. They're cute.
Thanks.
Or as my wife will say, cool. Is that cute? Cool. Hey, cute. Producer Brian, how you been doing? Cutie.
I think I'm getting old.
No crud.
I think things are happening. Like, I don't quite understand. Like, maybe you're a couple years older than me, so maybe you can help me wrap my head around this. So, I'm just like walking around my bedroom last night, and then my ankle just fails, like for no reason. I'm just walking, and it just like, oh, now I'm limping. Why am I limping? Like, my body parts are just quitting on me without. There's no 2 weeks notice. There's no like any kind of. There's no way to guess what's about to happen. It's just like that happened last night, and then today I'm standing at the stove, like making pasta. And then my knee just goes like, oh, my knee hurt. Like I wasn't even moving.
Yeah,
I'm just like maybe it's the weight gain or something. But
well, this probably has something to do with it, but most of it is getting old. I woke up this morning and my wrist hurt. Here's where you've passed the part of like thinking that you're old to knowing where you're old is when you go to bed and then you wake up and something else hurts.
Right.
You're like, how did I injure my forehead in the middle of the night? Like, how did this happen? Why is this hurting? Yeah. And then you gingerly get out of bed because you have no idea what's about to happen. It's almost like a horrible choose your own adventure thing. Like, which knee should I put pressure on and which one shouldn't?
Yeah.
And then don't talk to me about trying to hit the hole in the middle of the night when you're trying to like go to the bathroom. At this point, it's reverted to having to sit down because I don't care anymore. I'm too tired. I'm too whatever. So getting old is. I mean, everything's going to start hurting. It's horrible.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
I've said for many years, I think what should happen is at the beginning of you graduate from college, trade school, what have you. The government then at that point should give you 10 years and pay for whatever you want to do for 10 years. Here you go. Let's go. Do whatever you want to do. But then after those 10 years, you have to work until you die, because that's when you can have fun.
Instead of the other way around.
Right. Yeah.
Or you get to retire and you can barely move.
Yeah. What are you going to do there? Like, well, this is fun. I'm going
to
sit down and watch Fox News and Wordle all day. All right. That sounds like a game plan. So
how you be doing?
I'm good. My little small batch has done this sleep regression thing. Are you familiar with sleep regression, also known as El Diablo? For our Spanish-speaking friends.
Yeah.
It is hellacious. And in the middle of the night, we'll put her down at 7:30, normal bedtime. And then at 10:30, she decides, I'm going to scream for a little while. And then she'll go back to sleep. Probably it takes about an hour. And then at 1:00, all of a sudden, like the cell phone blows up. She gets a text saying it's party time. And now it's party time in the USA. And she is wide awake, screaming, yelling, jumping. We have a camera and we were watching her. And at some point last night, I swore to the good Lord that her head went around 180 and stared back at me, and she vomited everywhere, and then the next thing I know, she turned around, she's asleep. Like, what the heck just happened? So Demon Child sleep regression is horrible, because you just have gotten to the point where like, oh, we're golden, we're just going to sleep through the night, everything's perfect, and then that crap happens.
I hate life. That's impressive what's happening over there. I remember kids waking up, there was some noise, and then they just went back to sleep. Right?
Yeah, no, it's a rock show.
Eventually, when you get to my kids' age, you start having bad dreams, so they'll just wake up for that. And
at some point, and we'll have a discussion. I know this discussion is coming with therapy. I get it, but I walked into her room, and you might have to bleep this out. I looked her in the eye, and I said, "Sit your ass down. I'm tired of this." So it was a long night. It was a very long night. All right. So we're going to go to our Southern phrase of the week. It's no bigger than a minnow in a fishing pond. When you arrive at the banks of the fishing pond on Saturday morning, you're hoping for a good catch, big enough to get a catfish to eat and fry for the family on Saturday night. And if you find yourself only seeing minnows, they look even smaller compared to the heavy catch that you hope for. No bigger than a minnow in a fishing pond is as tiny as can be. So you may hear that, he's no bigger than a minnow in a fishing pond. So you may hear that in the old Southern dialect.
Yep.
All right. So we mentioned some voicemails that were left. So we said that Lee Shorty's Barbecue had the winning first round voicemail. So I wanted to go ahead and play some of these voicemails so you guys can kind of hear what kind of fun stuff we're getting.
All right, here's the first one here.
Hey guys, this is Shorty's Barbecue. Congratulating you on your new season of the podcast. Although I was promised Jay-Z on the last episode and I got
never said that.
White guy, I'll forgive you for that. Anyways, looking forward to seeing what you guys have this year on Three Old Fat Guys Radio. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. And let's go roll smoke.
All right.
I feel like we missed some branding there.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. I always say at the end of the show, keep looking up, because it was at the very beginning of the show, I had my grandma on the show. And I asked her, I said, Grandma, if you could say one, what's the last thing that you would tell people? She said, keep looking up. So that's why I always use that at the end. But I like, let's roll some smoke. But, for Grandma, I'll keep saying, keep looking up. So there's that. And Aaron, he said that before you were on. So it's no thing to you. All right, and we'll go to our second. We'll go to our second voicemail.
Here's our second voicemail.
Hey, this is Sketch from Cut and Shoot. I'm glad to hear Aaron on the show, bringing a woman's perspective and giving y'all some of that celebrity tea. And just wonder if you're going to talk about the latest big separation. I mean, big. I can't believe they split up, especially after all the crap they've been through. If you don't know who I'm talking about, it's your butt cheeks. Bye.
Wait. All right. I don't know. What was the very end? Did he say pinch your butt cheeks?
It's your butt cheeks.
It's your butt cheeks. What's my butt cheeks?
Hold on one second.
It's my butt cheeks.
The joke is, I can't believe they're still together after all the crap they've been through. It's your butt cheeks. Yeah.
Okay. Aaron, so one, you already got a fan, so that's great.
Love it.
One for you. 0 for the rest of us. That's great. Who is the celebrity couple that broke up? Because I have no clue.
There's not one.
There's not one.
He was joking.
The joke was, your butt cheeks are the celebrity couple.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
I get it.
How were they still together?
How are they still
all
together?
The crap they've been through.
They've never been together.
Yeah, right. That's
yeah.
Anyway, so, that's the kind of what you can expect from the voicemail line, apparently. So
right. You have no idea what's going to happen. You have no idea. All right, Producer Brian, you've got something you wanted to talk about, the newsletter.
Yeah, so this week or this month in the Fat 5 Fat fraternity newsletter, I got some interesting news here.
And just to back up, if you're not familiar with Fat 5 Fat, it is the fraternity of fat guys. So Producer Brian and I and Ryan, 3 fat guys, we are part of that fraternity.
Yeah, that's going to be the next podcast here. So
there we go.
I'm not sure if you saw the news, but I believe it was this Monday, or maybe last Monday, McDonald's released a new menu. Have you seen this?
Ooh, I have not.
Secret hacks menu. It's not secret anymore. So they've got some new things you can order. So I'm going to kind of start with the most appealing one to me. There's something called a hash brown McMuffin.
Okay.
So they sell you, basically, it's a sausage McMuffin with egg, and you get a hash brown. You're supposed to put it on the sandwich. Not bad, right?
Okay.
I could go with that.
Aaron, you said you like that? You've had it?
That sounds good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that one's good. So here, let's find another.
I like
one
hash browns.
On a McMuffin.
Yeah, I love the McMuffin. So that's
not a fan.
The next one they have here is called a crunchy double.
All right, I'm liking the noise of that.
So it's a double cheeseburger.
Okay.
And then you get an order of chicken nuggets and barbecue sauce to put on your cheeseburger.
Do you do chicken meat? Is that the order that we're doing?
I believe you just take like the bottom bun off and you put the chicken nuggets there and then drizzle them with sauce and then put the sandwich there. That's what the picture looks like here.
All right.
Yeah. Then there's a surf and turf.
Oh no!
You can imagine where this is going.
Yes. Oh no! I need that TikTok. Oh no!
Yeah. It's a double cheeseburger with a fillet of fish.
No.
Yeah. And then if that's not good enough for you, then you're gonna love the Land's Air and Sea, which is a Big Mac, a McChicken, and a fillet of fish all stacked on top of each other. So would you do any of these? That's the question.
Oh, we should go get all the hacks and then just try them.
Right?
Ooh.
That's a TikTok video there, right?
Absolutely. I would probably do the double crispy. That doesn't sound horrible. If I have to do one.
No, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Do that. The fish and the surf and turf one. That's right on the line. I don't like the filet fish.
We're not doing that.
But
no. Once a year, I'll get a hankering for the fillet of fish, and I'll go get it, and then I'll say to myself, "That was a bad mistake. I shouldn't have done that. That was awful." So, oh well. All right. So we are going to go to our guests. We'll go ahead and bring her on. She is in the green room.
Yep. And that's the wrong one. I'm going to figure this stuff out eventually.
How did that happen?
That was supposed to be
there we go. We got
Brian said
two errands. Why do I have 2 errands? Good.
Yeah, there's 2 errands.
All right. I'm going to come on 2 here, guys, if that's okay. There we go. All right.
There we go. Hey, Nancy, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Hi, guys. Oh, there's a bad echo. Do you hear that too?
No.
I do not know, ma'am.
Hold on. Can you still hear me?
We can hear you, yes. Can you hear us?
I don't know why. Yeah, but I have an echo. I don't know if it's because I'm recording this also. Let me just make sure that I'm nowhere else. I'll just ignore it. If you don't hear it, I'll ignore it.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely don't hear it. Nancy, again, thank you so much for coming on. It is an honor to have you come on the show. I've read your story. I've seen the first chapter of your book. I haven't gotten to the rest of them, but I will definitely be ordering that. What an amazing story. And the first question, though, that I have for you, if you have to do it all by yourself, there's no help on whatsoever, which one would be the most intimidating for you? To climb Mount Everest or to prepare your taxes for 2021?
Probably climb Mount Everest.
Okay. I am not a numbers guy or a tax guy, so for me, that's my Mount Kilimanjaro. I can't look at numbers. I get confused. Oh man. Well, Nancy, thank you again. Tell us a little bit about your story, because I really want to dive into that because it's so remarkable.
Well, it's not really that remarkable, but I was married. I got divorced. I was married 26 years, and that just blew me out of the water. So it took me a long time to get over it. Then eventually I was a personal trainer. I owned a gym, and then eventually I became a life coach. And when I turned 60, which was such an ugly number, I just thought I had to do something that was going to make that number not so bad and just be a number. So I chose to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. I loved it. Wow. It was amazing. It was big. And I think it just propelled me. You know, I wrote a book, and then the book became an international bestseller, and I'm a master coach. And I just think it's all about doing life scared and being okay and doing it anyway.
There's a ton to unpack there. But can you tell us, so I've announced, like, you're a certified integrative life coach through the Ford Institute. You're Levine Life Coach Academy, again, best-selling author. What is an integrative
life coach?
Yeah, what exactly does that mean?
An integrative life coach, it's really, I'm a shadow coach. So I help people uncover the beliefs that are buried in their subconscious that they're not aware of, that we all have from our childhood, that keep us stuck. So I'm not good enough. I'm unworthy. I need to control everything to be safe. I need to be perfect to be loved. These are all some of the beliefs that are in our childhood that keep us stuck.
Ooh, boy, there's a lot there. My dad's watching, so I'm probably not going to say too much on that. But yeah,
you know what? I'm a parent too, and you do the best you can. It's not about how good a parent you were. Your kids are always going to make meaning about things that you're not even aware of. And you can't get through life without having shadow beliefs. So it's not really necessarily I don't know your dad personally,
Sure.
but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that um, some of the things that happen to you are your interpretation, and then you make a
Mhm.
belief about it that's very disempowering. It's not
Mm.
necessarily about your dad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My dad's a great dad. But there is a lot of stuff because I'm going through therapy as well. There's a lot of stuff that I'm unpacking exactly like you said is my interpretation of it. It's not necessarily he did anything incorrectly. It was just how I interpreted things. So
Right. My
yeah.
kids do the work too. And sometimes they'll bring up something like, oh, you won't believe this belief I have. And I'll hear it and I'll be thinking to myself, you're kidding me. Like that's what you took away from that. So
Mm,
I you can't take responsibility for how somebody else interprets something.
mm. And that also, I would imagine that that could also come from spouses, from friends, not just parentals. Is that correct? Those
No,
shadow.
but it basically comes from the first 10 years of your life. So, for
Okay.
example, you could be 7 years old and you're in class and you stand up and you talk and you misspell something, or you say something wrong, and
Mm,
everybody laughs at you. In that instant, you decide you're broken, you're not good enough, you're stupid, you need to stay quiet so you can be safe. It's just something that happens. These things
mm,
happen all the time. It doesn't
yeah.
mean that a lot of bad shit doesn't go down that you really haven't made beliefs about. I put myself on fire when I was 5 years old. I didn't know it till I was 50 that I had the belief that I wasn't safe alone. But
Oh
it's the
wow.
perfect thing for a little girl who was playing with a lighter and put herself on fire. Yeah, you're right. I wasn't safe alone.
Yeah.
So all of these beliefs are made to keep us safe as children.
Mm,
Stay quiet, stay small, stay safe. Um, but as an adult, they start to make you small. They stop
yeah.
working.
Yeah. I can see how that will. We try to do it for safety. Be quiet, don't jump. Don't go crazy, that kind of stuff. But then in the interpretation or how we take that in could be, wow, I'm not a safe person, or I'm not, you know, safe, or like you said, I'm not safe alone. Now that can be impactful in your adulthood. Absolutely.
Right. And so there's always a gift in the belief. As a
Mm,
young woman, I always had a million friends and I've always had a man in my life. But when I got divorced, I couldn't handle it. I didn't have the tools because that wounded child inside of me was like,
mm,
whoa, I'm not safe.
wow.
But I
Now, and you
was
you went through that probably in your uh,
40s.
in your 40s. Do we it feels like that usually around in the 40s, that's when we get a major wake up call, whether it be a parent passed, or you go through a major life event, or something's wrong with your health. It's like that kind of the midlife crisis, kind of have a wake up call in the 40s. um, is that, I mean, that seems like it's almost pre-programmed to happen.
Well, put it to you this way, life happens. It's always
Right.
going to
That
happen.
is true.
So you it's the people who don't think it's going to happen, or they
Mm,
think they're doing everything right, so life is going to work out for them, that gets the biggest surprise. You know, knowing that stuff's going to come down the pike no matter how old you are. And then it's not about whether you fall or not, it's how long you stay down
mm.
and how often do you get back up.
It sometimes it's just really difficult to get back up. Do you have any tips, anything that you can say, any encouragement for those folks that may be down, that may feel like that they're, you know, just knocked out, that they don't want to get back up again?
I think that life happens to everybody, and you have to know that you can't see the big picture, but that if you can trust that, like, the universe is there for you, everything is going to work out, whether you fall or not. That's what you needed. That was part of
Mm,
the evolutionary plan for you and your soul this time on earth. So You're not the general manager of your life. You can't really know what's going to happen. But if you can trust that there are lessons and gifts in everything that happens, it actually makes you more the observer than the reactor. And just because you're down right now doesn't mean you have to stay down, because shit happens to everybody. And
Right.
I mean, honestly, I've had an amazingly great life, and I've had cancer, I've been divorced, I've lost a baby at the end of a pregnancy. I've had a lot of things. It makes you who you are. And thinking that where you are right now is where you have to stay is not true.
I usually ask the questions, but I want you guys, Aaron, Brian, if you guys have questions, please feel free. Or if any of the viewers have any questions, please put them in the chat. We'll ask those as well. Aaron, do you have anything before I move on?
I don't think so. I'm just listening. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
All
She's
sounds
shaking
amazing.
her head.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah, and it's a thing in our society where, and I talked about this on the last show, is just to love yourself and to be accepting. And that doesn't, it seems like it's getting more steam and push that that's a healthy, viable thing and something that we need to do. But growing up, that wasn't there. Like self-love was just something, at least in my community, that wasn't something that was pushed. How important is that self-love
Oh
and
my God, it's
trying to
everything.
teach yourself to do that? How do you do that?
So self-love and self-worth come from self-confidence. And self-confidence comes from trying a lot of things and staying in alignment with what you tell yourself you're going to do. So whether you fail or not, if you say you're going to do something and you do it, or you have a goal and vision out there and you stay in alignment with it, you're going to have more self-love. If you actually aren't out there playing all out, living big, doing everything you can, staying in alignment with what you say you want, you're not going to have self-love. And I think we're a society that is very other referenced. So we judge ourselves on how other people see us. Well, when you do that, you aren't going to have a lot of self-worth, because on the one hand, you don't really show people who you really are. So then you, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, if they really knew who we were, then they wouldn't like us. So
Absolutely.
you have to like yourself. It's an inside job. It has to start with you. And then if you love yourself, if you find worth in yourself, that's what you exude out. We mirror ourselves to other people. You can't just look out there.
Yeah.
And you also can't have self-love if you're not doing what you know you can be doing. You know, if you're not living up to your potential, if you're not using your gifts, if you're afraid and you're staying stuck and you're not moving forward, it's going to be hard to really love yourself.
How do you use that fear of either the unknown or feeling like you're not going to be able to do this, that you're not good enough? How do you use that to cultivate, the ability to do that?
I have learned to become comfortable being uncomfortable. And that I know that anything I'm afraid to do, that's where my growth is. I'm going to come out the other side and I'm going to be the person who I didn't think I was, so that I couldn't step up. Like, let's say I was afraid to do this podcast with you guys. I would have some fear, but I would do it anyway, knowing that when I came out the other side, it would make it easier for me the next time I had to do a podcast. And so when I was training for Mount Kilimanjaro, every single thing, I'd go down the double black diamonds on the other side of the mountain. I did Tony Robbins and I walked on fire. I mean, every single thing I did, I would say, well, if you can't do this, then you're never going to climb Mount Kilimanjaro.
Wow.
And that's how I really live my life. Do it anyway.
I think one of the things, I'm a new parent, and one of the things that I'm learning is I'm always so scared that I'm going to mess something up, or I'm not going to be able to handle it when she has a huge temper tantrum or whatever. And by not handle it, just like gets very frustrated. But after I've gone through it, I realize, oh, you've done it before. And so when that fear comes up, like, oh, you won't be able to handle it, I think back to say, oh, I've already done it before, and I came out the other side, like you were saying, and it was fine. So I'm starting to understand that concept of going through it. Also, in my brain, I'm the worst case scenario type guy. Like, zombies are coming tomorrow. Are we going to be ready? Um, and so I'm learning the zombies aren't coming tomorrow. It's going to be okay. And my wife's the exact opposite. She's like, well, if the zombies come, we'll have a party. And so I'm trying to learn and lean into that, which has been so counter of my nature to do that. But again, it's part of that growth and learning to become a better person, like you're saying.
Worry doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't
Right.
save you. It doesn't make you more prepared. I mean, if you're worried about something, then try to take some action that would make whatever you're afraid that's going to happen less likely.
Mm-hmm.
But I just say to my clients, think about what's the worst case scenario. And then if the worst case scenario happens, what are you going to do? And
Yeah.
once they see that they're going to survive, well, then let that all go. It's not going to help you. And my best advice as for you as a parent
Sure.
is let your daughter try a million things and fail as often as she can.
Yeah.
Because especially with women, with girls, we try one thing, we do it forever until it's like dead in the water, and we don't try a lot of things. And when you fail, you're afraid to try something new.
Mm.
The juice is in the journey. I raised my
Mm.
granddaughters to like, Nana, I was bigger, better, braver today. And I'm like, what'd you do, honey? Like, what did you try that you were afraid of? So the conversation should always be about what were you afraid to do and did it anyway, not about how
Mm.
well they did the thing I'm so
Oh,
proud
wow.
of you for being brave.
That'll preach.
Wow.
So tell us what it means to be bigger, better, braver. What is that? What all does that entail?
It means
I
always,
think I've got the bigger part down, so we can skip that one.
yeah, skipping the bigger. Okay, so whatever bigger means to you,
I'm
right?
just
It
kidding.
could be
Right.
getting in a job, getting out of a job, losing 50 pounds, moving across the country, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, starting a new job, running a 5K, anything, whatever bigger means to you. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
knows what stepping out of their comfort zone would look like. And being braver is just taking your fear by the hand and moving forward in faith to know that that's where the growth is, that's where the juice is, that's where life
Mm.
is. The saddest thing to me is people who live in their fears and can't seem. I mean, if you're waiting for a fearless state, that's never going to happen. None of
Yeah.
us are ever going to be in a fearless state. So you have to be able to move forward with your fears. And
Mm.
most of our disempowering beliefs from our childhood, underneath that, there are these fears. So it's really great to unpack all of this. That's why you hire somebody like me, or buy my book and do it with my book or
Right.
my course, any of those. So that you can move forward. Like, please don't stay stuck in your fear. Don't live a little life because you're allowing your fears to keep you back.
Mm. Wow. Oh, there's a lot there. So besides buying your book or having you as a mentor, like where do you start? Like if our listeners decide, I don't want to live in fear anymore, what's the number one or the first step that you take in that journey?
Honestly, it sounds like really self-serving, but I would say buy my book
Yeah,
because
sure.
this work is not something you can easily do on your own. You're not you have things that are in your unconscious mind, so they're in your subconscious. You don't know you have them.
Mm.
What you do know is that you're not happy as you want to be, or you can't stay in alignment with what you tell yourself you're going to do, or you are a self-sabotager, or you're a people pleaser, an overdoer, conflict avoider. You know when you're those things.
Yeah,
And if
sure.
that's how you're living your life, then you can work with somebody so that you don't have to keep that going.
Mm.
You don't have to hire me. There's a million coaches out there.
Yeah. You mentioned faith. How has faith played a role in your process?
Well, I didn't grow up with this belief that like the universe had my back and everything happened for a reason. But once you do cultivate that belief, you can relax in everything about your life or your family's life or your friend's life. You can give up being the general manager of the universe because there's a bigger source than you out there. And as long as I don't think I'm never going to fail again. I could fail today, right? I
Sure.
never, it's not about that. It's about knowing that whatever happens, I'll be okay. And if something happens to my children, well, then that's their journey. I can't save anybody from what's going to happen. I can give them my advice, I can have compassion, but I can no longer be in charge.
Sure.
I can't control everything to keep anybody safe. My clients who don't do anything or are home all day trying to keep their family safe, I'm like, if I thought that you're staying home and worrying all day would keep them safe, I'd say go for it, do it.
Sure. Yeah.
But that doesn't happen. Worry doesn't keep anything from happening, but it keeps you playing small.
Why do you think that we attach failure to self-worth so much?
Oh, self-worth is such a big conversation because self-worth is also totally connected to your net worth. So if you don't think you're worthy, then you also don't ask for what you deserve. You don't ask for the raise. You don't push yourself. You don't do a lot of things. So I talk a lot about worthiness, and the thing about worthiness is that whatever it is that makes you feel worthy, when you don't excel in that one area, even if you excel in other areas, it brings down your self-worth. So
Yeah.
so there's your ideal self, and then there's your self-image. Both of those are just an interpretation, but the discrepancy between how far away your ideal self is from your self-image equals your self-worth. So
Wow.
if the area that you're looking at your life in is where you're not worthy, like I know I'm rocking in a lot of areas in my life,
Sure.
and yet if my body image controls my self-worth and I get on the scale and I'm up 3 pounds, well, like I'm in the garbage that day, right? So
Yeah.
it really depends on what you decide is the most important aspects of your worthiness. And then where you are on the spectrum of being close to your ideal self.
Wow. Ooh, that's a lot. I mean, it's trying to process that in my own life is like, oh, I've still got a lot
It's
of
a
work
big
to do. I thought,
conversation.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a huge conversation. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Worthiness is a huge conversation.
Yeah. I always feel like I'm not worthy at all of anything. And I mean, we're just gonna have a therapy session. I'll just send you my copay. How about that?
Yeah, well, so seriously, what's underneath that?
Yeah, like it's a bunch of failure for me. Not feeling good enough, not feeling like that match up to what I should be. I think is a lot of that.
That's the ideal self, right?
Yeah.
But so
Yeah.
here's the other thing. If you have a childhood belief that you're not good enough, then life brings you experiences to prove your limitations. So every single time something happens that makes you feel unworthy, you say, see,
Yeah.
I really am unworthy. When you uncover where the beliefs came from, and then you give yourself a new empowering belief, you will stop attracting people and situations into your life to prove that disempowering belief.
Okay. All right. Well, there's step one. Buy the book and then get rid of everybody
Right.
else. I'm just kidding. Nancy, if you have, one takeaway that our listeners need to take away from your experiences, or your book or what have you, what would that one takeaway be? That one nugget?
I think that the juice is in the journey. It's
Yeah.
not in whether you succeed or not. It's whether you step in. Nobody, I read something about the last person in a race still beats the guy on the couch.
Right. That's
right?
great. Yeah.
So just step in, do something every day that you're afraid to do.
That's great stuff. So where can people buy the book? Where can people get a hold of you? Where can people contact you?
So you could buy my book on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, anywhere in the world, even on my website. You can buy the written book or the Audible. My website is nancypicardlifecoach.com, and I'm on Instagram, I'm on Clubhouse, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. So Nancy Picard Life Coach finds me everything. And I offer free discovery calls so that if something I've said today makes you feel like, oh, yeah, I need more of that, just send me an email.
That's awesome. Nancy, it's been a pleasure. I'm going to dive into that book, no doubt. I'm going to order that tonight and
leave me a review.
I'll give you a Yelp review, 5-star Yelp review.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks
Absolutely.
for having me.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
All right.
Thank you.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. Wow. Guys, there's a ton in that little nugget of stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I've just gone to see Maria, my therapist.
So I'm going to
which, by the way, is going to be on the show
right now.
Do what now?
Was that an actual recording of a therapy session I just had, or
I think so.
How did y'all find that?
What did you say, producer Brian?
I said I'm going to need a raise after. That's what I got.
Yeah.
Out of that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll add to your raise a Ricola.
Oh,
for my sore throat.
Actually, I think I have a whole bag of it from when I lost my voice. So, wow.
Any takeaways from that?
Well, I like that quote, that the juice is in the journey. She said that, and she had a couple little fun little packaged little quotes there that are kind of heavy hitters,
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Were you going to say something, Aaron?
I was just going to say, when she was saying, do it anyway, I had that as a screensaver on my phone. I feel like I'm the type of person that lives in that fear. I let it kind of fuel me. So I really appreciate what she was saying. I guess I never could put into words what that was for me, and how that drives me. And I think her saying that was okay, yeah, I feel like I kind of do that. I try to push myself, even if I am afraid, and step into, whatever is I'm scared of, and just kind of let that be I'm going to rise up to the challenge moment. And I appreciate that. The way she worded it, it felt like it rung true for me.
Good. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's Bigger, Better, Braver. If you want to look at that, all her information will be on our guest information on the sfpradio.com website. You can look in there. Producer Brian, I know you put in the show notes, but we also have a cool little thing on the website. If you click on the link, all their information is there too. So they've got their pictures and all that kind of fun stuff. So and more information than we have on our site. So or on the show notes. So check that out as well. I mean, guys, she went through, as she said, went through a lot of stuff. 60 years old and climbed the mountain. And I know she gives, if you sign up, you can get a free the first chapter of her book. And of course, they're going to ask, well, what's your Mount Kilimanjaro? Mine is usually means can I get up and go back to the fridge for more ice cream? Which I probably need to stop that. I'm going to try to be a little bit better because I got to get ready for our SFP 5K. But it is a question of what are you afraid of and how can you lean into that a little bit? So I guess tomorrow I'll have to step into something that I'm afraid of. So we'll try that.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing because, I think I've traumatized my children by making them do things they're afraid of. And it hasn't always worked well.
And I do enjoy the fact of it's not one of the biggest one of the things I took around, it's not did you succeed, but what did you learn in the process of doing that? Mm-hmm. And it's success isn't the big arrival. It's again, the process of getting there. And if you succeed or fail, either way you win. So really enjoyed that. All right. So I think that's going to wrap up our show. We got a quick show tonight. Next week, we'll see. It's our Valentine's Day show. I haven't asked everybody yet, so this may or may not happen. But what I'd like to happen is we have our spouses on the show, and we'll play a newlywed game and see and hear the love stories and how everybody met and all lovey-dovey and the best parts of being married and the worst parts of being married and all that fun stuff. If nothing else, if we can make Magic Man and his wife come on the show and tell us how they met, that would make my night. So, good night. It's the greatest story ever told. So we'll leave that as a suspense. Right? Yeah, pretty close. I'm just kidding. Oh, yeah. My wife has actually, this is some behind the scenes stuff. My wife has 2 versions of the story of how we actually met. So we'll see which one she tells if she's able to make it on the show.
Is it depending on which personality is in charge at this time? Is that how that works? Or is it?
It's who the audience is and how acceptable it may or may not be.
I get it. Okay.
So, all right. It should be interesting. So hopefully we can make that work. If not, we'll just be talking about love and marriage and all that fun stuff. So, oh boy, I know that's
a show
pretty
about that back in the 90s, right?
What show?
That was the song start. It was Married with Children.
Married with Children.
The song started with Love and Marriage. It was like a Sinatra
song. The only thing I paid attention to on that show, honestly, is Kelly Bundy. That's all I paid attention to. I didn't know what the show was about.
So
yeah, she still is an icon.
Understandable.
She still is. Christina Applegate, you got it going on. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Southern Pride Philosophy Podcast. And as always, keep looking up.